And welcome to the first ever edition of Yinz Guys RC. If Yinz Guys aren't from Pittsburgh, then Yinz probably don't know that Yinz is how we say y'all and you in this area. Anyway, so this is Yinz Guys RC, and we are going to take a lighter look at all kind of things RC. We're going to talk about everything from airplanes to helicopters to quadcopters. Might even look at some gliders and some free flight. Plus we're going to have some special guests. Anyway, I'm Paul. I'm your host, and today, if you look here in front of me, we're going to start talking a little bit about quadcopters or multi-rotor aircraft. And they come in sizes from extremely tiny. I would call this an average size. This is the Blade 350 QX. They come all the this is a quadcopter. They come all the way up to like octocopters that are used for professional TV and film use that are much larger than this. We're not going to delve into any of the professional stuff. We're simply going to talk about the home user stuff, the hobbyist type of products. So that being said, there's been quite a bit of a technology boom with these. I had one of the original hobby grade quadcopters that came out, the Blade MQX, and while it was fun, it didn't have a lot of the sensors and stuff that made these things so stable and easy to fly. For instance, the smallest one we have here is the Estes Proto X. It's about 2.25 inches from motor to motor, and it uses a single cell LiPo battery. And you can, I don't know if you can see well enough to see, the board is built into the frame. Now this tiny little quadcopter has 6 separate sensors. It has 3 gyroscopic sensors for sensing rotation and 3 accelerometers for sensing angular velocity. Next up, we have the Blade Nano QX. Now this is probably one of my all-time favorite because you can fly it inside, you can fly it outside, and you'll be able to see here in a few minutes. I've even added some LEDs to this to make it a little fun for night flying. Again, it has the 6 sensors, the 3 gyroscopic sensors to sense rotation, and it has the 3 accelerometers to sense angular velocity. Next up, we have my newest one. This is the 1SI from Helimax. This is a Hobbyco product. Oh, did I say Hobbyco? Anyway, this one has the same sensor technology built into it, and it claims it has a return to home function and intelligent orientation, which means regardless of how it's rotated, you push the stick away from you, it's going to go away from you. But why? The reason I bought this was it's got a built-in camera. I mean, how much fun is that? And next and last, we have the Blade 350 QX, which was really the first commercially hobby available quadcopter to be built with a mount made for a GoPro camera. Now, as you can see, there's no GoPro camera on my mount. What I have is one of these little teeny tiny cameras attached to the top with gyro mounting tape, and I find that it works just fine. Now let's start with the Estes Proto X. And let's talk about this, the controller. This thing is tiny. Look at the size of my hands compared to this controller. Here's my standard controller. This is my Spectrum DX8. There's the Estes Proto X controller. The size difference is completely astounding. But it works. Also, this Estes Proto X quadcopter here is actually designed by Hubsan. So if you're so inclined, you can get yourself a Hubsan X4 controller, which will give you more flight functions. But this is a lot of fun, and it's fairly it's very sprightly, very easy to fly. You get about 3 minutes, maybe 4, depending on how hard you fly it out of a charge. Hovers pretty well. It's not going to get away from you. And this thing is only like $39, so you really can't go wrong with something like that. Just for playing around in the house, something for the kids. The Estes Proto X, once again, 40 bucks. Fly it all around the house, have fun. The next one we're going to talk about is the Blade Nano QX, which is just an incredible flying machine. It can do just about anything you want it to be able to do. I'm going to plug in the battery here. I don't have my glasses on, so sometimes it takes me a second. You can see some various blinking lights. Now it's blue. We're ready to fly it. And this thing is just incredible. It is so stable. I mean, it pirouettes on a dime. It's quick. It's agile. Put this thing in high rates. Watch this pirouette rate. Something like this is just plain fun. Now, I believe this was $69 in the bind and fly version. And it comes with one battery. Get about 4 minutes of flight time out of that battery. Buy some more, they're like $5 a piece. And you can also go to our good friends at EP Buddy, where you can get the batteries for $2.50 a piece. Now we're going to talk about the 350 QX here. I'm not going to fly it in the house, but the 350 QX has all of the sensors and everything that everything else has, plus it has a built-in GPS and a compass sensor. So what I have done, and what you can do also, is you can take this thing off, you can put your controller down on the ground, and with the built-in altimeter, compass, and GPS sensors, you know, the wind's going to blow it maybe in about a 3-foot circle area, but it's going to stay right there. It's going to stay within, say, a foot of altitude. It also has a mode without the GPS. I think they call it stability mode, where you still have all the features with the gyroscopes and accelerometers, just like the Nano QX, but without the GPS lock on. And finally, it has agility mode, or what I like to call angry mode. When this has this LED here on the back. When that turns red, this thing will flip, it'll roll, it'll do whatever you want. It also has the ability of return to home based on its GPS lock. I've used it on 3 or 4 occasions just to try it out, and I have to say I am 80% impressed with it. On one occasion it landed exactly where it took off. On the other occasions, I'll say it landed within 5 feet of where it took off. 5 feet sounds pretty doggone good of where you took off, unless you took off from a table like this and it decides to land 3 feet over here and cut the power, and boom, you fall down. So be careful where you take off from, and I don't think you'll have any problem with it at all. And the last one we're going to look at today is the 1SI, which is the latest from Helimax with the built-in camera, which is basically the reason I bought the thing. It's not like I don't have enough quads. You can see the camera is here on the bottom, and the lens is actually positionable both up and down. The controller has buttons for the video. I'm going to turn the video recording on. And I'm going to fly this thing around a little bit. And you should be able to see, I'll cut this in. You should be able to see a view of what we got from this. And this is a nice little camera, and this is a very nice little quad. It's got LEDs built into it. I like it quite a lot. So that's the 1SI from HeliMax. I didn't put the battery door cover on because I was just demonstrating that to you for a minute or two. So going from biggest to smallest to recap today, we've got the 350QX with GPS positioning. We've got the 1SI with the 6 sensors plus return to home, plus it claims to have intelligent orientation. I haven't been able to get it to work yet, but it claims it's there. Then we have the Blade Nano QX. The ready-to-fly version, I believe, is $89. It's probably the most fun you can have in your house with one of these things. The blade guards bounce off of everything, no trouble. And finally, we have the Estes Proto X, the smallest one of the bunch. And that's our look today at Quadcopters. Thanks for tuning in to Yinz Guys RC. And we'll be back next week and every week on Thursday with another episode on YouTube. Next week, look for a special guest. Until then, keep them flying.